Welcome to the Remount Foundation, Hoofbeats, Hearts, and Healing. I'm Guy Girtin, here every week where we feature stories of courage and hope told by our veterans and service members in their own words. Personal recollections of service, sacrifice, and the healing process. Thank you again for joining us here on Mountain Country Facebook Live page, the Remount Foundation, Hoofbeats, Hearts, and Healing. It's sponsored by One Source Home Service. And this morning, on this Friday morning, we have Charlie Dye, a special guest here. Charlie, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
We sure appreciate your time and for being here.
Yes, sir.
Vietnam vet, as well as many other things, but I guess we can start there. Explain a little bit about your experiences as a Vietnam vet and what you went through there, if you could.
Okay, I joined the military early in my lifetime, and one of my assignments, I asked for Hawaii. They sent me to Vietnam instead, and I got to spend some time there, and it was a good experience, but interesting. But I did come out of it with a little bit of post-traumatic stress, and which has helped me understand the wellness program that we have with Remount Foundation. So I did spend 20 years in the Air Force as a logistics guy, and then got lucky and got to spend 21 years at the Air Force Academy.
Wonderful.
And then I get to volunteer doing at the Equestrian Center at the Air Force Academy, working with the horses.
Sure. Now, what exactly did your job entail there with the Air Force?
With the Air Force on the Academy, my job entailed furnishing the uniforms, weapons, transportation for the cadets and so forth. Working in processing day one for the cadets as they arrived and so forth for 21 years, mostly logistics type work.
How did you get started with the horses and that? That's kind of an interesting story. You were afraid of horses?
Yes, I was never around horses that much. I'd ridden a couple of times, but only as a young person. And so I had a friend on the academy, retired Chief Master Sergeant Robert Deal. He asked me to volunteer. When I retired from the civil service at the academy, he asked me to volunteer at the stables because he knew that I would probably want to be doing something. And so I went out there to the stables, worked with him, mucking stalls, which is cleaning up manure, and got used to the horses. Never been around them before. Then he taught me everything from saddling to bridling to riding and so forth. So, and then a few years later, Jeannie asked me if I would help with the wellness program, the Wounded Warriors. And so I took a class on that from a person named Craig Kristen, and then learned how to work with people who had post-traumatic stress.
Well, as we were talking earlier, PTSD, and you said you suffered a little bit with this.
Yes.
How did the Remount Foundation help you with that?
The Remount helped me from a standpoint of helping me understand what I was going through, helping me to relax, to watch what a horse can do, and to be around the horses. If they notice that you have high anxiety or that you're depressed, the horses seem to understand that, and they help you relax a little bit.
Sure. Now, is there a special bond, first off, between other vets, you and another vet? Do you guys have a special bond, especially going through
absolutely. We have a special bond, I think, when you're around other vets. They understand where you're coming from, but mostly you understand where they're coming from, and you can listen to them, and they tell their stories, and they open up to you. As they get near the horses, I think it relaxes them, and so they kind of open up, and they understand me because I've been there. I can talk to them. Right. I've seen battles, I've seen bombings, and so forth, and I understand what they go through. I still get chills when I hear a helicopter go over at my house. Even I still get chill bumps. So some of these things still bother me.
Oh, I imagine they would, and I know you have a list here of several stories that you said bring tears to your eyes. Mackenzie and the Wounded Warrior and his son, or would you like to share some of these stories with us?
Yes, I was working with this Wounded Warrior, me and Uncle Bob was, and he was not opening up. He had been wounded twice already in Afghanistan, and he just wouldn't open up. He wouldn't get too near the horses. He'd be around them, but we couldn't get him to open up. So one day he asked, and his wife asked also, if he could bring his 11-year-old son with him to look at the horses. And I said yes. And so his son was autistic. So he brought the son with us, and we took him into the corral with the mares, the female horses, which were about 8 or 9 of them at the time. And we have one big horse there called Mackenzie. He's an old Marine Corps horse, the largest horse we have at the Air Force Academy. And when I brought the gentleman in with his son, Mackenzie came up to his son, walked over to his son, and put its head on the young boy's shoulder. Now, Mackenzie is an enormously large horse, and the father broke down and cried. So I worked with Mackenzie, the horse, and the father and the son for the next few weeks, and he opened up, and his wife was in tears. He was in tears, and it brought me into tears because he said his wife said, I've never seen anyone open up like him, what the horse has done. It's nothing that we do as volunteers, but the horses understood him. By the end of the 6 or 7 weeks, the young kid was riding Mackenzie, the horse, and he had never been on a horse before, but the father was doing very well then. So it's a great story for me. It helped me to get through some of my post-traumatic stress too, to see this.
Well, I was going to ask you, as a volunteer, it's some of the things you see, it's got to help you as well.
Oh, absolutely. As I mentioned to you before, my wife tells me sometimes, she'll say, I think you need to be with the horses today. So
you get out of the house.
I get out of the house. She'll tell me that. So,
any other of these stories you'd like to?
There was a young female that I worked with. Genius seems to assign me different people. This young lady wanted to work with an older gentleman, and I'm about the oldest you have out there. So she was a young military person who had been raped. And so she was very unsure of herself, and we met and we talked for a while, and then we met with the horses, and she would not get near the horses. She had no confidence in herself or anything. But she met a horse that came to her called Bella, and Bella seemed to understand what she was going through. She was a young, probably 25-year-old. And so she worked with Bella, and by the 3rd week, this young lady was riding the horse bareback with her eyes closed and her hands out. She had built so much confidence in herself because of what Bella was doing with her and understanding her. It helped her relax and around. She did great after 6 or 7 weeks, and she's on her own. She's doing wonderful. There's so many stories out there that these people go through, that these horses have a big heart, and they seem to understand what we go through. Another one, a kid with a anger problem. His dad had been deployed twice, and he was afraid his dad was going to be deployed again. He ran his fist through a wall, and so Jeannie asked me to work with him to see if I could help with his anger problem or have the horses help. And when he got used to the horse, he was only 9 years old, and when he got around the horses, it seemed to calm him down, and he seemed to enjoy it. I gave him a commemorative type coin that he could stick in his pocket, and I would tell him if he'd lost his temper or think he was going to lose it, to hold the coin and think of the horses. Let him think about the horses and how happy he was out there. And that seemed to work for him, because his mother calls me and tells me every time he gets a little bit upset, he grabs that coin and he tells everybody about it, and he doesn't lose his temper as much anymore. So the horses do a wonderful thing for people.
Oh, yeah, and you can hear that heartbeat.
Yes.
And feel it.
And when you're grooming the horse, it closes its eyes, it's calm, and it calms you down. It's really nice to see.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing. And anything else you would like to add?
No, working with horses, it's a magic thing. Mm-hmm. As Jeannie said one time, one of her clients said it was voodoo. Yeah, I think it's magic also that goes through when you work with the horses. It's a wonderful thing.
Is that your message to other vets as
Absolutely.
well? Mm-hmm.
Come out and help with learn about the horses with the Remount Foundation. They're doing a fantastic job, and being around horses is wonderful. We have 180 horses on the Academy.
Wow.
So
No, there's a few.
there's a few of them out there, yes.
Okay. Charlie, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here. Charlie Dye, Vietnam vet. And that is our Veteran of the Week this week. Join us next week. We'll have another veteran right here on Mountain Country Facebook page Live.